What's going on, bulls? Today we're going to take a look at the charts. Today's the day that the Bitcoin ETF futures ETF has come out. But we're going to take a look at some charts today and see what's going on because the prices are a little bit down from where they were on Friday. They're still doing pretty good. I have the ETH chart up here. I'm going to show you, I'm actually in a trade on ETH right now, a 10x leverage trade. I'm up a little bit. I'll show you why I got into that in a second. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. But first of all, let's talk about the Bitcoin ETF. Because the Bitcoin ETF, even though it's a futures ETF, is such a big stepping stone in the right direction to move crypto, Bitcoin, etc. into more and more mainstream into adoption. That's really what it's about. That's really what it's about, because it's just constantly progressing and progressing. And the first ETF that was ever going to happen in America was always going to be a Bitcoin futures ETF. Love it or hate it, that was always going to be the first ETF. But before you know it, there will be a spot ETF where you'll hear some people talk about it as the physically backed ETF. Do you like that word? Physical, physically. That's, if you listen to everybody, that's what they call it. The spot ETF, they call it the physically backed, meaning that the provider with the actual ETF actually has the Bitcoin in possession. That's what it means. So that's what physically backed means. But you hear that word physical because that's one of the biggest barriers, is that people have been, and I myself used to be like this too, and you always are when you're early in crypto, trying to comprehend how something that you can't hold or really see has value, something that's just kind of something on a computer, right? But see, now we're talking about it as a physically backed ETF. Just listen to other content creators and other people talk about it. That's the verbiage they will use. So we're starting to just accept more and more that these things are real, right? Because that's the biggest barrier, is understanding that these things are real, even though they're not physical and you can't touch them, okay? That they are digital assets. That's really what it is, a digital asset, okay? And they keep saying physical. Anyways, let's dive into the charts. What do you think about that? By the way, before we dive into that too, I finally got it together. I mean, this indicator that I've been using, why I placed this trade, and I'll show you all that in a second, the Lever Atlas indicator. There should be a link in the description to go check that out. Regardless of any of that, I finally got done with my crypto trading masterclasses, and for at least a limited time, I'm going to be offering them for free, but eventually I'm going to charge for them. You can go watch them for free. If you go to dailycryptobull.com, there will be a button that says watch masterclass, okay? There'll be a big red button. There'll be other buttons, but there will be one that also says watch the masterclass, and it's a two-part series so far, and I condense everything I've learned over my entire time trading into those two videos to really simplify it and make it so even a complete newbie can understand and at least get started trading. Not financial advice. I can't guarantee any outcome for you. Disclaimers. But it's meant as education. So go over there and check that out. And after we go through this stuff, you'll see why you want to learn more about crypto trading, because the name of the game is accumulation. Accumulation. That's what whales do. That's what big money does. That's what institutions do. That's what all the smart money does. Its whole goal in crypto is accumulation. Okay, not short-term profits, because they know, as you and I know, that this is all just going to go up overall for the rest of our lives, right? Yeah, it will go up, it will go down, as we see here on the chart. I was up a bit, I'm still up, but now the price is coming down some. Not worried about it at all. But that's what happens. The price goes up and it goes down, but over time, it does nothing but go up much more than it goes down. And that's going to keep going on because adoption is going to keep happening. And we still have so far to go in a good way in terms of adoption. There's only maybe a couple 100 million people in the world that use crypto in any capacity currently. Well, there's like 8 billion people. So 200 million out of 8 billion is nothing. And eventually, crypto is going to make its way into every facet of our life. So anyways, for accumulation, the best way to accumulate is leverage trading. No doubt about it. It's a very learnable skill because you don't need any money to do it. You just need a little bit of ETH or a little bit of Bitcoin or a little bit of XRP or a little bit of Cardano. And you put it in here and you trade with it. Just as a reminder, we'll dive into the charts here in a second. Like if I do a long, which is when I make I earn more crypto as the price goes up, and a short is when I earn more crypto as the price goes down. So say I start, wherever, say I start at 3,000, and I put a whole Ethereum in my trade, but I do 10x leverage. Well, now I have 10 Ethereum in that trade. But the most I can lose is 1 Ethereum, but I can get out anytime I want. No way I'm losing 1 Ethereum or losing much at all. So now I'm in the trade for 10 Ethereum, so I'm going to get the increases of 10 Ethereum, not 1. I only have 1 Ethereum in the trade. So if the price goes up on a long 10%, right, I'm going to get 10% profit, which isn't, sure, I get the price appreciation, yes, but that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I actually get more ETH. And what is 10% of 10 ETH? It's 1 whole ETH. So I now have turned my 1 ETH into 2 ETH because the price went up 10%. And I can do the same thing when it goes down. Say I get in on a short, which is when I accumulate crypto as the price goes down. Say I get in, I put 1 ETH in a trade at 3,000 and it goes down to 3,700. Well, it went down 10%. Guess what? Same thing. I did 10x leverage. Now I have 2 ETH instead of 1. I teach you how to do all that stuff in the masterclass. Go check that out. I'll put a link for that in the description. Let's take a look at the chart. I'm going to get out of this one real quick. I'm going to go to the chart, and I'll show you why I placed this trade. Let's go here. Let me make this big. All right. So, whoops. Let me click this. So as we go in here, this is the Ethereum. Ethereum is the biggest one I trade because I think Ethereum has the most upside, but I trade Bitcoin too. Ethereum is just the one I trade the most. Now, what we see here, this is Lever Atlas down here. This is Lever Atlas. This is the thing that I use to tell me when the tops are, when the bottoms are, which way momentum is going, which way money flow is going, which is indicated by the green and the red here. And these blue waves are the momentum. And this is the 0 line right here in the middle. These red dots indicate tops. These green dots indicate bottoms. As you'll see, like say for instance, this bottom right here is correlated to this dot. This dot goes to this bottom. And we are on the 30-minute time frame. The higher the time frame, typically, the more relevant to data, because there's just more data within a longer time frame than there is, say, within a 1-minute time frame. So Lever Atlas does some pretty cool stuff. Like, check this out, right? Here, what we are really looking for are bullish and bearish divergences. This right here, right, where you got this red dot correlating to this high right here, and then you got this red dot correlating to this high. Check this out. Price came up, but momentum went down, and Lever Atlas printed this big red dot and drew this line for us. So we're like, hey, that's probably a good spot to get in. What are these lines up here? These are Fibonacci lines. I'm not going to get into all that. Check out the masterclass. I teach you all about this stuff in much more depth for you. Link in the description. It's free, but I'm going to be charging for it soon. Now, the price came down here, right? We had this bearish divergence, red dot printed. Lever Atlas told us price probably going to come down, and boom, what did it do? It went down. So from here, say again at 38.40, and you get out at 37.60. Well, that's what? That's what, a several percent move. Do I want to do math live here on the spot? 38.40 down to 37.60. It's an $80 move. So let's call it that about 2%. Well, if I'm doing 10x leverage, 10 times 2% is 20%. So if I have 1 whole Ethereum in this trade and it goes down 2% and I'm doing 10x leverage, I now made 20%. So if I started up here with 1 Ethereum, now down here I have 1.2 Ethereum. Okay? And you can get out anytime you want. I probably would have taken profit along the way. And then what happens down here? Nothing giving me a strong indicator that it's going to go back up, but it did go back up. That's fine. I'm not here to take every trade. I'm here to take the good trades that Lever Atlas shows me, right? So here's another. Bearish divergence. Red dot prints. Lever Atlas shows a line with a bearish divergence. Now, it's not as prominent as this one, and we're not really at a Fibonacci level up here, but nonetheless, I said, you know what? Geez, 39.50, 39.60, that's pretty high. I bet it comes down some. Plus, Lever Atlas is giving me this line and this red dot. So I get in here. I got in here at, I think about 29.30. And then what happened? Went down here to about 3,800. Now, I took profit along the way, and I ended up getting out down here because this bottom printed, and I said, yeah, overall, Ethereum and Bitcoin are going up, so I want to be extra careful with my shorts, my bets when it's going to go down, because I think overall this stuff is really going up, right? So I don't want to ride these too long. But I got out there, but I could have kept riding it. Look at that. And you know what happened is because we have this here, right? This red dot right here. Here's the high. Check this out. So there's the high of that red dot down there, okay? Now if we go over here, look at this. This is a little bit higher, but yet this dot is much lower. So you're like, wait a minute, you can ride it out that far? Yes, you can. And actually, I could be riding it from this dot because this is the highest one on the chart here. So really, this is the high, and this is still way above that, but this dot, ooh, nice. But this dot is way down here, right? So I'm like, all right, it's still kind of bearish, and then it rides down, okay? So that's pretty great to know right there. And then right here, now it's getting interesting. Now it's getting interesting because now we're looking like we're going to go back up into a bullish divergence. Stick with me on this. I'm here to really help you learn a lot about how to accumulate crypto. And I'm trying to read the charts for you at a higher level so that you can start to understand when to get in, when to get out, stuff like that. Not just with leverage trading, but just with buying and selling, period, and being able to do stuff like that. So here we got a green dot down here, and we've got this bottom. So that correlates to this bottom, and this green dot correlates to this bottom. Now this is interesting because so momentum is going up, but price is going up too, right? Because this isn't a lower low. If this were a lower low than this one, and this green dot was higher than this one, like it is, then I would be much more inclined to see this as a strong bullish divergence. But I actually overall do, because this area right here in particular is a golden pocket, Fibonacci golden pocket, which is a strong area of support and resistance. And overall, like I said, I'm bullish on Ethereum and crypto. Clearly, that's what's been going on for the past 2-3 weeks, right? And we think that these things are really going to go up. This ETF just launched. I'm bullish. So I just think this is a good value to get in. And we've got some signs going on here. So I got in, and that's the trade you saw me in. I actually got in over here because we printed yet another green dot with a much closer to the zero line momentum wave here. And so I'm like, all right, I'm feeling a little more bullish on this. We'll see where this goes. I don't plan on really getting out real early on this one. Like I could take profit right now. Let's go back over to Bybit. And I'm going to dive back in these charts, tell you what all this means for the long term and why it's looking pretty good. Be sure to check out the links in the description, like the crypto trading masterclass. So right now in this trade, I only put a little bit in. 1750, I did 10x leverage. So that means I actually have $175 of ETH in this trade, but I did 10x leverage, so that gives me the earning power of 1,750, and we're up. So overall, so when it says 8% here, that's what I am on my real money. So I'm up 8% on my 175 so far. That equates to, well, it's going up and down, but equates to about 0.4 something ETH, 0.004. So about half of 1% of an ETH. So that's like, 14 to 16 bucks here. Okay, so this isn't a big trade at all. But I went in really small because I wasn't really strong on this because I think it might come down more. It might. And if it does, guess what I'll do? I'll buy even more longs. I'll buy more longs at a lower price because I got in at 37.32. Actually, I got in at 37.35 with 1,500. Then I added another $250 to my position at 37.20, right? Because I'm a long. So as the price goes up, I'm accumulating crypto. A short is when you accumulate crypto as the price goes down. So let's go back to the charts here and get a little deeper dive. Let's zoom way out though, because we've been on the 30-minute time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Come on, buddy. You can do it. My computer, I'm going to have to get a new computer because it's just lagging too much lately. I don't know what to do. It's a Mac. I've had it for several years. And Macs are great because they last a long time. Every Mac I've ever had lasted at least 5 years. But then what ends up happening is that their technology, it's not that the computer goes bad, it's just that the technology isn't fast enough anymore. So I got to get a new one. I think that's kind of where I'm at now. But anyways, right here, check this out. So we had this divergence happen on the 4-hour, and we had this one happen, and it's still kind of pushing down. We got to look at this one as the top, as the big one. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking at this one as the big one. So there was divergence. What happened? We came down some. That was a nice little short to take there. We have this green dot, red dot, correlating with this high. So it came down a bit. Then we've been kind of doing that. And then we had this one, which is kind of more of a trigger wave, which is so, because it's so much lower. But yet, of course, this high here is so much more high than this high. I just use the word high a lot. Hi, hello. So this red dot correlates to this right here, right? So everything above this in terms of price and every red dot lower than this is a bearish divergence for the meanwhile. And what happened, and this one came down really low, even though it's certainly higher. Plus, you can see it starting to kind of curve over. I got in right there. That was a good spot, and it went down. Where are we at here? 30, call it 3,600, and it went down to 3,424, roughly, a little bit lower if you look at over here. And then what happens? We have this green dot right here correlating with this low, and we have these two green dots right here. Now, they aren't lower than this, right? When we have lower lows and higher momentum waves coming up and price coming down, then typically that's a bullish divergence, meaning we're probably going to go up, especially on a high time frame like the 4 hour. But what's interesting is that this wasn't, but Lever Atlas, this indicator down here, showed me that, hey, you know what? This is a divergence. We're going to draw this line and print a green dot. It's not a bright green dot, but it's a big green dot because we have little green dots, little dim green dots, big dim green dots, and bright green dot, bright big green dots, excuse me. Same thing with the reds, you know, small dim, big dim, and big bright. And now we got more bearish divergence happening. But overall, look, we just keep going up, and that's kind of what's been happening here. You see this this was a really good bullish divergence down here because you really got to look at this one back here, this green dot, looking right here, this one. So price is coming down, but momentum is going up. That was nice. I remember taking that one. That was a really nice profit. And then I got out because the top printed, and I was like, I don't know. But I took some profit along the way. I didn't hold it all till right there. And then we're printing these green dots, which are definitely much closer to the zero line than this one, but the price is still lower than this is over here. So price is still technically coming down, but momentum's still going up, way up, actually. And so I ended up getting in back here, and that was fun because I'm still riding some of that. I took some profit here, I took some profit here, and I'm still riding with the rest of my trade that's in that, in a different account. I have several trading accounts because you can only place one trade at a time on each coin, right? So I can only place one Ethereum trade at a time. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess with this position. So I have several accounts. Plus, if I want to do a short and I got some other longs going, then I want to be able to place those shorts because you can't do that if you only have one account. Anyways, and the one I use for all these training purposes, I use my smallest account because I don't know if I'm sure you guys are great. You're wonderful. I love you. But there's probably one or two of you out there that are wondering how you can rob my account. So I use my smallest little account. It's just for training purposes. You'll never see me use any of my other accounts. That's for damn sure. So anyways, overall, things are, momentum is up high, right? And we're coming down and things just kind of keep going up. And I think overall, because of what's going on, we should be very, very bullish. But there are moments to take cool downs, right? We had certainly a cool down here. And you can see this big one up here. Look at Lever Atlas, call this one. Look at this red dot. Correlates with this high. This red dot correlates with this high. So price is going up. Momentum is going down. And then we print another one. Another red dot here. Price is lower than this, but it's much higher than this. And this is the dot we're going off of, right? See how Lever Atlas connects the dots? Look at that. It just called this. This went from like 39, well, it really went from 4,000 all the way down to, about 2,700. So that was nice. That was I made a lot of ETH on that trade. I hopped in back at this dot because I was like, that's crazy. I got in because I saw 4,000 and I'm like, I'm getting in at 4,000. So I didn't get at the tippy top, which is like 40.24. It looks like I got in at 4,000 on the dot, and I just let it ride because I saw momentum was still coming down, and I thought, all right, let's see what happens. I had no idea this was going to happen. I figured it'd go down, maybe 10%, but here it is, goes all the way down. Boom, $1,000 in like a matter of a few hours, if that. It was even faster than that, I think. So that was nice. Anyways, but I couldn't do it without Lever Atlas here, really. And again, check out my trading masterclass, links in the description. So overall, what do I think for the markets? See this? It looks like we're going to print another green dot here. And as you see, it's closer to the 0 line than these ones. So to me, it looks like we should probably keep going up, which is another reason I placed a trade here at 37.30s. If it goes down lower, guess what? I'm going to buy more longs because I'm long on this. And it'll just bring down my average cost of my long, my average entry price, which is the spot that I actually make money from. That's the spot where every dollar above that I make $10 actually. But I think, so we're down here. You see this wick right here? See how it lines up very well with this right here? That's not a coincidence. When you're doing TA, when you're doing this type of stuff, you really got to know where you're at. Plus, we have this Fibonacci line right here. You see how it like just perfectly taps this Fibonacci line right here. These ones perfectly tap that Fibonacci line. These ones ride right around this Fibonacci line. Fibonacci lines are no joke. This one rides on the Fibonacci line. This one tapped the top of the Fibonacci line pretty much. Fibonacci lines are no joke. Take the masterclass. Link for it, again, it's on my website, dailycryptobull.com. You can take it for free. I'm going to be charging for it soon. And you see this line also goes back to here. Very interesting. But overall, I think things are looking pretty bullish. We had a green dot. Looks like it's going to be printing here. Let's go to the 2-hour time frame. Zoom in a little bit. So we got a little more action going on. That obviously was quite a divergence. Printed a red dot there. Came down a bit. Printed another red dot. Came down some more. But see, like the bullishness is just fighting against any bearish divergences happening. So I'm pretty long, and it's been overcoming a lot of that stuff. This one was nice, right there. This is Lever Atlas just makes it so easy for me because it shows me the divergences. It prints the big red dots for me, and I just go boom. Do I win every trade? No. Do I win most of my trades? Yes. Do I need to win most of my trades to be profitable? Hell no. Because it's about risk management. You can get out whenever you want. You don't got to ride it till all your money's gone. You can get out whenever you want. Or you can add to your position to hedge it, which is kind of doubling down. And for me right now, I'm very long on this, and I think I'm willing to double down. Because I think Ethereum and Bitcoin are going to go to all new highs. I think Bitcoin's going to go over 100 grand by the end of the year. I think Ethereum's going to go to over 10 grand by the end of the year. So if I can zoom out a bit, I'm not so worried about the minute-by-minute action. That red dot printed, that one was good if you stayed with it. Because this one right here, this red dot, this top, it's still lower than this. So same things apply. Price is coming up, momentum is going down. And then we have this trigger wave here that really kind of tells us, because it's, this is just such a big disparity, but yet it's still higher than this one right here, right? But it's such a big difference in terms of momentum. So this is when it really went boop, because you see that big wick, and boop, boop, and I think we've kind of hit a bottom. So we got this green dot. We're going to have a green dot printing here in a second. Not in a second, but let's go to the hour now. And we see momentum is coming up. Price is coming up a little bit too on the lows, from the lows, because of this wick. But if we don't look at the wick, but you got to look at the wick a lot of the time. You see, look how perfectly this touches that Fibonacci line. It tells me right here that 3670 is a very strong zone of support, but we're riding around here, this 3726. See how it's riding around in that area? So these Fibonacci lines are just no joke. They really are strong supports and resistances. And I think this is going to come back up. I think it's going to go over 4 grand. If it comes down more, I'm not worried. I will actually just add to my position and lower my my liquidation point. That's something I should really show up to you real quick too, in case you're newer to this. So right here's my liquidation price, and this is an isolated trade. Isolated, meaning that I can only lose what I put in. So the most I can lose here is 175 bucks worth of Ethereum, whatever that equates to in terms of probably about 0.04688 ETH is what I can lose in this trade. If the price goes down to here, I'll get liquidated, okay? But say this gets down to the price gets down to 3,500, and I say, hey, I'm going to buy more long positions. Well, guess what? My entry price is, the average entry price for me is now going to come down more, as well as my liquidation price. And here in TradingView, I have all kinds of alerts set. All kinds of alerts right here. So you can set alerts. I can say, hey, you know what? If ETH crosses down below 3,600, be sure to send me an alert. And I have it set to send me alerts on my phone. See, my computer's lagging. So I'll create it, and it will send me an alert on my phone. It'll pop right up, a push notification. And I have all kinds of those things set every time I play straight. See, right now I'm still up. How much am I up? It's been hanging around here. I'm up about $17 worth of ETH in this trade. I have a much bigger trade placed in another one of my accounts, but again, the only one I show on here. This is my trading account, my trading account. That's kind of hard to say, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm up about 10% on my actual money. So I've got $175. I have 0.0 because it's 10x leverage. So you got to. This is the value of 1750. 4688. So that means I have 0.04688 ETH in this little trade here. And I'm up 7% right now on my actual money in the trade, which would be 9% now. 15 bucks out of my 0.046 ETH, whatever, my 175 bucks really. So that's what's going on here. But overall, things are looking pretty bullish. Good old Ethereum chart. But you probably want to see the Bitcoin chart. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart. This thing I'm using here is TradingView. TradingView is what I'm on here. And Lever Atlas, this is a special script that I can share with people. I had it created for myself, for my own trading purposes. And then I had so many people ask me, wait, can we get our hands on that? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. But I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I had to have a developer come in and change some things so I could share it with people. And you can get this now, but watch the master classes first and then decide if you want. If you're new to trading, if you're already into trading, you want something like this, sure, go on over. On the page that holds the master class, there's also a button to be able to get Lever Atlas if you want. It is a paid product because I have my fees associated with this, but it's a very small fee, so you should make no guarantees of anything, right? I can't guarantee anything, can't give financial advice, but if it should make you a lot more than you pay for it, that's for sure. But no guarantees of anything. Makes me a hell of a lot more than makes me a lot. That's just all I'll say. But here we are in Bitcoin. So check this out. Look at these little dots here. We have that. We have Lever Atlas giving us a nice bearish divergence, printing a dot. What happened? Boom. Just like that. Took a short. What happened down here? Lever Atlas gave us a nice bullish divergence. What happened? Boom. Bearish divergence, red dot. Boom. Oh, but it didn't move a lot. Dude, 58,000 down to 57,000? Don't mess around with those moves. That's a 2.5% move. So 10x leverage, that's 25%. If I had 1 Bitcoin up here and took a short on 10x leverage, now I have 10 Bitcoin in the trade and I get the return of that. It goes down 2.5%. What's 2.5% of 10 Bitcoin? 0.25 Bitcoin. So now my 1 Bitcoin come down here, a little move like this. Now I have 1.25 Bitcoin. Pfft, kidding me? And no, you don't need to trade with full Bitcoin. You can trade with 0.001 Bitcoin or 0.001 Ethereum. It doesn't matter. I just use that for nice round numbers. See, look at this. Bearish divergence. Boom. Bearish divergence. Boom. Bearish divergence. A little guy, but you still make money on it. Bearish divergence. Boom. It didn't give us a line for this one, but this is one of those trigger waves I was talking about, where this red dot is right here, right? But the momentum is way up here, and then the momentum is way down here, and the price is about the same. That's a fairly strong sign that it might come down. Boom. This is what I call a trigger wave. Actually, Crypto Face is where I learned that from. the trigger wave. And this lever atlas is actually very similar to market cipher B. Up here, another bearish divergence, boom. Bearish divergence, boom. Bullish divergence, boom. This is what I'm talking about, where like when you get in a trade here, you don't really want to get out of all of it, but you still want to be taking your shorts along the way. But if you only have one trading account, you can't do a long and a short on the same coin. Okay? At the same time. Here we go. Bullish divergence. Boom. See how powerful this is? Anyways. This is just, nothing has made me, as it helped me accumulate more crypto than leverage trading. Nothing. And you can't be afraid to lose a little bit. Like that's a loser's mentality, frankly. I lose trades sometimes. I don't lose much, but well, first of all, I win more trades than I lose. But I don't have to do that because you can risk manage, right? If I take a short and it gets out of hand and I'm like, I just got to get out of this, take my loss, I'll do that. If I take a long and it goes down too far, I'm like, I'm just going to get out. I'll take my loss because I know there'll be another trade and another trade and another trade. And some of them, like say, you know, you get in this one right here on this long, or hell, just get into this long right here, down here at Bitcoin at 55,000, we'll say, and it goes up here to freaking 63 almost. Holy crap. Not only did that made up for all of your losses, big time, and then a hell of a lot more. Like that's it. Like, and this is not a crazy trade. This isn't like, you know, it went up what? What is that? 54 to 62. So that's like 15% maybe. That's not a crazy move. Like that happens all the time. So when you lose a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you get a big one, holy crap, you're so in the freaking profit. But if you're new to trading, you got to be able to manage your emotions and just realize like that. For me, that's what happened to me too. You know, I couldn't stand it when I went to when I placed a trade and this would be in the red, meaning I'm losing, meaning I'm down. I couldn't stand it. I was just so nervous all the time. What's that about? But now I'm like, I don't even care. I'm like, well, because I look at the chart, right? I look at the chart and I'm like, well, where are we sitting here? Okay. I think I like where we're at, right? Bitcoin's up here. Looks like we got some strong support right here. I would say this is a strong support line right here. And that's about 60,000. I'd say 60,000 is a pretty strong support line for us. I got to draw some new Fibonacci lines here. But we're up so high. Can I get Fibonacci's drawn here right now? Let's go to this time frame. Let's draw a Fibonacci line. See where we're at. Because the price has just outdone these Fibonacci lines. Boxes, retracement boxes. So let's draw some new ones. Let's go over here. Fib retracement. And let's just go from here. How about that? Let's go from down here to, you know what, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go to the daily chart so I can get the all-time high in here, because that's probably where I want to draw this from. Pull this down. Let's go to the fib retracement. We'll go up here, wind up at the all-time high right there. And let's go down to like 60,000. Let's see what kind of box it gives us. I'll go with that. Now let's zoom in. Interesting. Didn't really give me anything to get crazy about. Should have though. My computer. I gotta get a new computer, I think. It's just pissing me off so much. Come on, you mother effer. Grab this and move. Oh, it's pissing me off. Let's make this big. So I think this must be the new line here, which doesn't make any sense to me, actually. I must have drawn something wrong. So here's what I'll do. Move this down. I know where the top is. I'm going to click this real quick. Oh, it's pissing me off. Nonetheless, things are looking pretty bullish. That's the tale of this video today. Things are looking bullish. I think Bitcoin's going to hit 100K plus. I really think Bitcoin's going to be like 120, 130 by the end of the year. So let's go here and draw this fib. All right, we're going to go from here. And take it all the way up to let's draw that one more time. Right there. We're going to take this up to about 64,840. That's probably about what it was. Now, let's zoom in. Now let's make this bigger. Now let's zoom in on some stuff. Shit. Come on. It's my computer. It's just over. I don't know if the hard drive is overwhelmed or what. Okay. As you can see, these lines are doing pretty solid. Look, bounce right off the bottom of this golden pocket. This is the top of the golden pocket. It's the bottom of the golden pocket. These Fibonacci retracement lines, they have to do with the natural order of literally the universe in terms of the ratios that things seem to be created in. That's where this all comes from. And then they applied it to markets, and that's how we have these Fibonacci retracement lines. Fibonacci, other extensions and stuff too, but Fibonacci retracement. But since we're up at such a high level now, I'm going to have to start using Fibonacci extensions, which is more of a projection. But it's based off, but it's the same thing because it's based off these ratios like 382, 0.5, 618, 65, 786 ratio. You know. So we drew it from down here. And then we brought it up to the all-time high of just under 65,000. And these are the ratios it gave me. So 0.382 is the ratio from that range. And look, it's working pretty well. See how it bounced right? It's this one right here bounced right off of this line, the bottom of the golden pocket. This one bounced off the top. This one went a little bit past, but you can see the bulk of it is right here around that bottom Fibonacci line. So that's why I think that we're in a good support zone right now, waiting to take our way back up. And check this out. This red line, where did it wick to? Right there. Right there at the top of this Fibonacci retracement. Although this one right here got a little above it. 62911, and then came back down. And then we came down here. Now we're working our way back up. So overall, I just think things look very bullish. We'll look at Lever Atlas down here. Sure, we have this bearish divergence that happened, and it came down. But now it's been coming back up. This right here, sure, price is going up and momentum is going up. So that looks bullish to me too. Just doesn't look like a divergence where it's about to turn around, because you like it when it turns around. This was really kind of a turnaround spot-ish. And then it came down here, and it's like another turnaround spot. But the price and the momentum are about the same as they should be. This is the only thing that kind of concerns me here, is because we have such a difference in these two dots here, but the price isn't that insanely different. But I like this support zone. I like this support zone. And as we go down to, again, why I was at the 30-minute time frame when we started this thing, because that's what I'm looking at. Check this out. We got kind of a trigger wave going there. a bearish one, but we also have kind of a bullish one going on. So I'm still in here. This is Bitcoin, of course, but Bitcoin and Ethereum are moving roughly the same right now. Let's go back to ETH. Links for all this stuff, the trading platform I use, TradingView, everything, they should be over on the website. Again, holding pretty steady. It's no joke. Look at it. It just taps this line. I didn't draw these afterwards. I drew these ahead of time, and this is where the price has gone. I drew these a long time ago to give me my references, my levels, to line up with Lever Atlas to see when these divergences happen. Because if these divergences happen at a level, I feel very confident in terms of a move. If it's a bullish divergence and we come down here to this level and this level, I feel pretty confident. Again, we're testing it. I feel confident. Right, I think this one right here, around 36.75, 36.80, very strong. And then we got this golden pocket here. What is the price of Ethereum at right now? 37.40 some. So I'm up a little bit on that trade. Overall, you see, we got this bullish divergence, and then another higher green dot. Again, not your traditional bullish divergence where this price came down lower than this one, but this wick was so fast and came back up that I would say they're almost about even. This one is still overall lower than this one. But I like the divergence happening here, and I like seeing another green dot here where this is really, this one, I know this wick right here comes down a little bit lower than this one, but overall the body, if you look at the body of this price, it's lower than this, but yet momentum's coming up. So I like this. This to me looks like we want to come back up to at least here. Well, at least here, but ideally here and above. So I'm going to ride this for a little bit. And if it goes down lower, I'll have to check the charts, but I'll probably just add to my position and lower my entry price on my long. That's what I got for you today. Hit the like button, hit the follow. Be sure to go over to dailycryptobull.com. Links for stuff like that in the description. I got the masterclasses up for now, the trading masterclasses. They're free for now. I'm going to be charging for them in the future. There's also, because I just got Lever Atlas launched, there's also a very discounted price on Lever Atlas right now. If you want to get started trading, it's the best way to accumulate crypto that I've ever come across. I can't imagine what would do better than this. I mean, there's not financial advice. Can't guarantee any outcome for you. Thank you for watching. Stay classy. You're awesome.